Yo, what's good YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoot, back with some Draft League content here. We have joined the UPC Minors Season 1, where the commissioner is Phantom Base, also known as Tyler, and he has a pretty successful league there going on. It has a Majors League and now a Minors League, and we applied, we were accepted, and we have drafted, and it is time for our draft analysis. That being said, we're about 30 sections in here, so we're going to go ahead and start talking about some Pokemon. This was a point system draft where we all had, I think, 110 points. We had tier or point systems from 19 down to, I think, 1 point, where things like, I guess down to 2 points. I'm looking at the doc right now. That's why I'm changing my mind there on what I said. Anyways, really powerful mons are, 19 points, 18 points, 17 points, where basically you got money, and each Pokemon's worth a certain amount of money, and then once you fill your, I think, 9 to 11 or 8 to 11 man roster, then you're good to go, and you don't have to use all your points, but it's probably best that you do, just to make your opponent, if you got those extra 2 points, go ahead and grab a 2-point mon so you can make your opponent think about that 2-point mon, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, my first Pokemon, as you can see on screen, is going to be Landorus Therian. This thing is a monster. It cost me 17 points, and I made it my Z-move mon. So Landorus Therian in the format with Z-moves is an absolute animal. I can set up Stealth Rocks. I can be a Double Dance, Earthquake, Supersonic Sky Strike set, Continental Crush, Tectonic Rage, all kinds of things the Landers can do offensively, defensively, Rock Polish, Life Orb, Swords Dance. You can throw on Yachi Berries for those, those Ice Shard users. Hidden Power Ice Pokemon, things like that. Landers gets U-turn, gets really good coverage, has decent special attacks, so I can make use out of, a Calm Mind variant or a Hidden Powers and stuff like that. Can make a lot of different sets out of Landers. And with Z moves, it is so much better. Supersonic Sky Strike, Tectonic Rage, Continental Crush, etc., etc. Landers is really good. Gets that knockoff and the U-turn. Rocky Helmet intimidates really nice and has a really good typing in my opinion. And I think I built a really good team with it to draft along with it, as you can see, in my opinion. So like going into the draft, I knew that I wanted Landorus Therian and Mega Heracross 100%. Those are 2 mons that I wanted to use, and I got Landorus, so I was pretty happy. Next up, I was going to grab Suicune to patch up my ice weakness and my potential fire weakness that I'm going to have later, as you'll see, or as you can already see on screen. My last 3 mons of this tab are fire weak, so Suicune's a nice patch for that, and it synergizes well with Landorus, as well as being an amazing another win condition. Landorus can be a win condition. Suicune can be a win condition. I guess in simple terms, any mon can be a win condition, but these mons can really serve, like, they can pull an ass win. And an ass win, for people that don't know, is when you win when you shouldn't have won, because a mon was just so good that it just wins itself, not because of you. You know what I'm saying? That's what Suicune is. You don't have to be good to use it and win with it. But it certainly helps to be a better builder, better set prepper and stuff like that. So Suicune can do a lot of things. Crocoon, Roarcoon, Vincoon, all kinds of things. So look out for Suicune. That's basically the reason I drafted it. And like I said, it synergizes well with Landers, and it's a really good patch for the fire weakness. Next up, I was torn between a couple mons, but I really wanted to get Thundurus Incarnate as well, because this just helps Heracross out with Prankster, T-Wave, and stuff like that. Can be a really good speed control. I wanted to get Thundurus Incarnate and Mega Heracross in the PMC Orange League, a couple months ago, but I wasn't able to get them. But now I am, and I was able to get them after I got Landers and Suicune, so I was really, really happy about that. Thundurst is just really, really powerful. Can be an amazing Life Orb 4 attacker. Nasty Plot with 3 attacks, Nasty Plot with 2 attacks, and Taunt, or Thunder Wave 3 attacks, Thunder Wave Taunt 2 attacks, etc., etc. Really good Life Orb user. Leftovers, Double Dance set with Agility and Nasty Plot, Substitute, etc., etc. If nobody's got an ice or a ground type Pokemon, just spam that Volt Switch, etc., etc. Knock off U-turn. Like I said, it's got really, really good coverage moves and really good utility moves. And it's a Levitate mon. And it's always nice to have those, especially when you can pile them up and not really have a rock weakness, because Landers is still neutral to rocks because of his ground typing. Suicune's neutral, and then Thundurst is weak to rocks, but it's my first weakness, if you see what I'm saying. Next up, Mega Heracross is going to be another neutral mon, and an extremely good wall breaker. So I have some really solid win conditions, and like Landers and Suicune can be built so defensively that they can be considered walls. More so pivots, though, in my opinion, defensive pivots. Thundurst Incarnates are really good, like a late game sweeper, and then like a cleanup, like a janitorial work, and things like Nasty Plot sweeping to break through teams. But mostly Thundurst would be like a late game janitor, or an early game, get that damage output for that little chip that some other mons might need. But Mega Heracross is a straight up breaker. This mon it fucking nukes 185 base attack. 185 base attack. This means that things that resist get bopped. This means that, let's say, Deoxys defense is getting bopped. Celesteela is getting bopped. I guess Celesteela can actually eat a couple hits, really, and it could be dangerous for me to actually stand against Celesteela. So that's probably actually not a good example. Let's use somebody else. Something that resists close combat. Mega Latios resists close combat. It takes a lot. Volcarona. Skarmory takes a lot from close combat. Toxapex is getting blown back by this thing if I set up a Swords Dance into Earthquake. So, like that, like Toxapex and Celesteela are taking a lot of damage, and those are two of the most premier defensive mons in the Smogon metagame right now. Mega Scizor gets blown back by close combat. And things like Clefable gets blown back by like +2 Rock Blast if he's not unaware. So Heracross is just really, really good, especially with the team I'm building. As you can see, I have Tailwind support already. I have Thunder Wave support. Now I have Trick Room support in Bronzong. It's a really good bird check. It adds a fire weakness, but I do have the ability to run Heat Proof. If I'm too fire weak in a matchup, then I will run Heat Proof. Bronzong is really good. Stealth Rocker, Trick Room, Boom, Gyro Ball, just general. It's like it's got a decent move pool. Like it can catch those birds off guard, throw off toxics and stuff and whatnot. And Steel Tops are just so good with the fairies running around right now. And it also gives me a way to check birds and psychic types that would otherwise threaten Heracross, as well as some of the rest of my team as well. So I think they synergize really well. Another mon that can come in on those ice type attacks and really take nothing that want to hurt Landers and things like that. Next up is going to be Decidueye. I haven't been able to use this Pokemon yet. Never have used it actually. But in any format, I've never used it. But I've seen it used well in the format, and I really wanted to try it out. I was watching my buddy Gypsy King use it in the ITL last season, or season 5, where he won the title with it. He's using it in the MPL. Really, really solid mon to be a grass type starter. It just blows my mind that this thing's so damn good. Gets U-turn, spirit shackle to trap stuff, really strong leaf blades, etc., etc. Gets defog, which is really cool, and just generally a good mon. Like you see its stats here: 78, 107, 75, 100, 170. Not bad at all. Not amazing, but like I said, not bad at all. Can really be ran SPDF set for like electric types and I guess like things like a scald switch in, etc., etc. Has a decent speed tier. Can really make my opponents have to actually invest to maybe speed creep it or something like that. 107 attacks really nice with things like Swords Dance and Sucker Punch and Spirit Shackle, Leaf Blade, etc., etc. So I do think this mon can be very, very useful for me and has a lot of value. Now we drop down into my last few picks, which is going to be, I wanted to make a Fairy Dragon Steel Core. So I do pick up Hydreigon next. I needed me a nice knockoff switch in as Bronzong and Decidueye were a little knockoff weak. Landorus and Suicune don't really appreciate losing their items, and Thundurus could really, appreciate having a life orb more than not having a life orb, or having its leftovers more than not having leftovers. And Heracross and Hydreigon give me two really solid knockoff switch-ins if I don't mind my item being lost. Now, if I'm Choice Scarf, I need to keep my item on this thing, then most likely I'm not going to switch in to a potential knockoff or anything like that. However, Hydreigon here is a really, really good mon. It's got phenomenal stats across the board. Basically 90 across with 92 HP, 105 attack, and 125 special attack, so it's a nuke on both sides of the spectrum. And base 98 speed, so it's not slow at all. U-turn, Draco, Dark Pulse, Crunch, Dragon Rush, etc., etc. Has all the stab it needs. Really great coverage, Flash Cannon, Flamethrower, etc., etc. It gets Taunt and Roost, so it can Toxic Stall, be a Taunt Roost, be a really good switch into Fire types and Grass types and Water types that don't, get like Fairy coverage or anything like that. Can be a really good Specs Breaker, Life Orb sets, Mixed Attack, could be especially defensive, physically defensive, and just a really nice pivot, and can potentially could also be another win condition. Same, I guess any mon can really be a win condition, as long as they're not like overly passive and abused as well. Next up is Granbull. Now, during this draft, I wanted Arcanine, Granbull, and Landorus Therian for an awesome Intimidate core, but Arcanine got sniped, so I just said fuck Fire types. I got really tore up. Anyways, Granbull is my Fairy type of choice. I needed a cheap Fairy type, and completes my core, and solidly does it in my opinion. Has Intimidate, can be another Rocky Helmet user, Heal Bell, T-Wave, got decent attack to where I won't be like abused or anything like that. Its defense in conjunction with Intimidate and its 90 base HP make me really fat, and also in conjunction with my pure Fairy typing, which makes me just fucking good. It makes me good. Pure Fairy type is one of the best typings in the game, in my opinion. Anyways, Granbull can be a nice cleric, could be another form of speed control even, and can just generally catch things off guard with things like Elemental Fangs, Earthquake, Play Rough, Think Gets Crunch. This pink bulldog is not to be trifled with. So yeah, that's basically why I drafted Granbull. Now I know I'm not going over this in detail because I plan to go more over my team and stuff and why these mons are so well put together in my, maybe not my prep talk, but when my actual battles go up, I'm going to talk about this even more. I go into detail. I will go into detail in my prep talks, but I won't go into the maximum detail. And sometimes if sets don't get to be shown off, I might not show them, or I might. I don't know yet. It's only a 7-week league because it's a minors league, and it wants to catch up with the majors league and then start the following leagues. It's like season 4 of majors and season 2 of minors at the exact same time later. So we have a 7-week league to compensate for the 7 weeks left in the majors league. Anyways, next up I got Smeargle because of basically I wanted Smeargle there to help with sticky web support for Mega Heracross, and I didn't want another bug type to do it because, as you can see, I am fire weak with Suicune and Hydreigon being my fire checks. So, and I guess Ditto could kind of be a fire check. Smeargle is there, like I said, it's that suicide lead that's always so good. And as we've seen, the Confusion use it and help. I think Crimson use it in the GBA. Smeargle can be a little bit creative and catch some opponents off guard. Next up's actually going to be Ditto. One of the staples of my teams always, if Ditto's around and I don't really need anything, I can always just grab Ditto because I love Ditto. I feel like I'm really experienced using it, and I can use it well in different ways than other people. However, I could eventually drop it for a fire type later on. However, it's highly unlikely because the only fire types in that vicinity are things like Torkoal and Mega Camerupt, which are just too slow for my taste. Anyways, my last mon is going to be Weezing. Great defensive mon, Toxic Spike user, and another Levitate mon. So the team come out pretty solidly. I like the synergy. If you look at them all together and really think about their weaknesses and seeing if I have another switch in to compensate for that weakness, like Heracross and Weezing are pretty weak to Psychic, but I have Hydreigon and Bronzong. I have Hydreigon and Heracross who are weak to Fairy types, but have Bronzong and Weezing to switch in. I have Heracross, Bronzong, and Decidueye who are weak to Fire, and Suicune and Hydreigon to switch in. Ditto, Smeargle, and Hydreigon drop to close combat. However, Landers and Bramble and Weezing switch in fairly nicely, as well as Decidueye being in 100% immunity. So this is the team. Now, with this team comes, like I said, one Z-move user being Landers Therian. However, if I decide to trade Landers Therian sometime during the season, then I will be able to switch my Z-move user. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. I think the schedules have been updated, and we actually have schedules now. So I'll be playing against the Chicago Sacred Fire. I don't know the coaches yet, so I'm just going to name off their team names. Week 1, I got the Chicago Sacred Fire. Week 2, the Boca Raton Raticates. Week 3, the Pittsburgh Celestealers, which is a fucking awesome name, by the way. Shout out to that name. Week 4, I'll face the Portland Greninjas. Week 5, I will face the Perth Persians. Week 6, I will face the Chicago Bewares. Week 7, I will face the GB Galactopods. Then we will enter the playoffs, and hopefully I'll make the playoffs. So I know I've started off my last few leagues with losses to begin the season, but I'm hoping that I can pick up just things like Magearna, Tapu Lele, things that we banned. Things like Kieran Black. Kieran Black and Lele have no switch-ins, but Kieran Black is loud, Lele is not. I guess it makes sense. But I don't agree with all the tiers, and I think I will bring that up in the off-season. And yeah, I guess that's it really. Don't really need to talk too much on that. Want to shout out to Phantom Base Tyler, because without him, then there wouldn't be this league, which means there wouldn't be any content to upload for this. Wouldn't be in this league,
and wouldn't have any more. Wouldn't have this awesome draft I drafted, in my opinion. This is one of my. I say this all the time, but this is seriously, this is up there with my ITL team, in my opinion. My season 5 ITL team and my season 5 PBF team. This is one of my favorites, probably my favorite team, just because I got to use a lot of the mons that I haven't used before, like Decidueye, Grand Bull, Bronzong. I used Hydreigon before, but I didn't use it to its fullest potential in no way, shape, or form. And Suicune, oh my fucking god, I'm loving using this beast of a monster in the PBF, so I'm most certainly happy to have it on the team. Yeah, so shout out to everybody that's part of the league, all the majors and the minors alike, the commissioners, the admins, everybody that works from the docks, etc., etc. It looks like it's going to be a great league. It's well put together. And I don't really know anybody, but some of these guys seem to be well known in the draft community, at least. So I'm hoping that they can put up a good fight, and we can all have some great battles. That's what it all comes down to in the end. So let me know what you thought about the draft. Let me know if you'd have did anything differently. Is the fire type essential in draft format? I'm gonna start doing these question of the days. Maybe not. Yeah, I can't do a question of the day because first of all, I ain't gonna lie, I probably wouldn't get much feedback for question of the day. But do you think fire types are essential? If you followed it all the way to these almost 23 minutes, let me know in the comment section. Do you think fire types are essential in the draft format, and do I need to go pick one up? Should I drop Ditto or Smeargle or Weezing for a fire type? You let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you like the draft, and as you can see, I do have a new league at the top of my photos there. I won't even say its name yet, but I'll have another draft analysis up soon for you guys. So enjoy this one. I hope you did. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.